Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. Well, good evening. It is Friday the 13th and I'm really spooked out. Every year on Friday the 13th, I walk past this lake just out from my house, down the road, and I expect to see Jason Voorhees rising from out of the abyss. And it never happens. I always wanted his autograph, and I ever thought to myself, if I ever saw him, I was going to approach him, or at least attempt to approach him, and ask for his autograph. It hasn't happened yet. I am somewhat feeling envious. I wasn't casted as a vampire slayer in Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, be it that yours truly is the first person to kill a vampire in over 100 years. I do it every night. The graveyard shift is literally hours away, and I haven't got anything prepared yet. I haven't packed my lunch, haven't made any sandwiches, but thank you so much for finding this thumbnail and clicking on it. It is really hard to kill a vampire. Some of you will deceit you and say that it is really easy to kill a vampire, but if you have no garlic, you have no stakes pre-built, you have no coffins in your basement, it is virtually impossible, so don't ever believe anything that anyone's ever told you. Although this Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, as we see Daywalkers, Nightwalkers, vampires making their introduction into a franchise that has already seen the introduction of zombies, obvious with the title, Werewolves by Zombies 2, and Aliens by Zombies 3, makes it for a very intriguing presentation on both Disney Channel and Disney Plus. July 10th for Disney Channel, and then comes Disney Plus on July 11th globally. Everybody in Hong Kong will be seeing it, eating rice and chicken balls while checking out zombies. Wah! Really excited about that. I always wanted to work in a noodle shop too. There's something about Po and learning the art of mastering Kung Fu that I always wanted to take myself up on the opportunity, the chance to experience with all of you. So if there ever is a new Kung Fu Panda movie, you can expect a review to drop on this YouTube channel in quite some time. Shrek 5 is coming out too, Christmas 2026. Really excited about that. I'm also really excited to see what kind of confliction we will see in the romance between Zed and Addison. They've remained together for 3 movies, and here comes Nova now, this Kung Fu Panda fighting chick. And she's going to present some confliction in the romance between the two of them. This will also be the first Zombies movie where they will say in the script, I love you. And as a theater kid for forever, I appreciate that. Although I feel really envious I was not casted as a member of the cast as a vampire slayer. I haven't done any vampire slaying for TV since Buffy back in 1998. And that was when some of my friends were casted as vampires. One of them just recently passed away with a battle with cancer, a very extensive battle with cancer, long story short. And I had a lot of fun doing it then. I was kind of wanting to get back into the swing of things, drive a mobile, a van, and crash it like Zed did after he was talking about football and didn't keep his mind on the road. Yeah, I think it would be the funniest zombies movie that you probably would ever see. So I felt it somewhat appropriate to talk about zombies for what is the first time in forever on this YouTube channel on Friday the 13th. How many out there are superstitious? How many of you believe that you should never walk under a ladder, have a black cat cross you in front of your path on your way through the woods when you're searching up Descendants videos? I have walked under a ladder many times. It wasn't a pleasant experience when I fell off when I was a kid, crashed to the floor, knocked myself out. But it was never pleasant. But I was always superstitious. I always woke up on Friday the 13th and said, oh my God, how am I going to survive this day? And more especially when I was between the ages of probably 9 and 11 years old. I would get on the school bus would crash, conk out, stuff like that. It was really freaky. There was actually this one year I was on the way home from elementary school, and we were on a dirt road. Nobody knew where we were to. We were like, where the hell are we at? And then all of a sudden, the bus just stops working, and we're there for like 10 minutes with nothing going on, and eventually someone came with booster cables and boosted us, kind of like how they did with Stitch and the live-action Lilo and Stitch movie, which I found really cool. Really did happen. A lot of freaky stuff has happened to me on Friday the 13th. But again, yours truly is very envious of not getting Jason Voorhees' autograph. Probably you're someone watching this who probably feels envious that you didn't have the same opportunity, or maybe you're somebody that did get Jason Voorhees' autograph. If Ruby Rose Turner was seeing the exit of her character Bridget from Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland, because of course the concept of time travel was not going to be in this one, why didn't she make an appearance in Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, knowing that going into this one, after the success of the world tour, with 43 arena dates, they didn't give her a role in Zombies? I would love to see Ruby Rose Turner be a vampire slayer, or part of the clan. That would have been really cool, seeing her drive a Scooby-Doo van, the mystery van, kind of thing. When I saw Jonathan in Hotel Transylvania years ago, I said to myself, copyright infringement! Same thing I said about the Snow White live action when they had that guy Jonathan, who was never actually officially named in the Snow White franchise years ago. I always wanted to be that guy, walking through the woods, come across a bunch of zombies, werewolves, a werewolf horde, a zombie horde, and say, where am I at? I just randomly walked through the woods, showed up here, and just wanted to sing karaoke with you guys, and have the opportunity to sing karaoke alongside Dracula. It's really hard to find a piece of garlic in the grocery store. A couple nights ago, me and my friend from Ukraine went to the grocery store, and you haven't experienced grocery shopping until you go to grocery shopping with someone from Ukraine. Believe you me. I kind of got to help them out. But it was really hard to find a head of garlic. And I learned a lot of specific things about garlic. You really have to pay attention to the head of the garlic, especially if you're a vampire killer like me. You have to really pay attention to that, because if you don't see a good head of garlic, it's not really no point in fighting vampires, zombie horde, and the end of the world, which is inevitable. So I just want to let you know that. But next time you're grocery shopping with your friend or your parents, check out the garlic section, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It was really a fun experience when I saw that. I also really appreciate how everybody's really excited about zombies, and they're talking about how they watched it for the first time when they were in elementary school, and now they're in high school, they're graduating. I mean, some people out there watched zombies when they were 8, 9 years old, and now they're in high school, and they're graduating at 18 years old, and they're still so excited, even more so for Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires. If I was still in high school, I'd probably feel the same way as each and every one of you do. I'm like way past 25, and I'm still really excited about zombies. I love zombies, I love Descendants, and we share the same passion on this YouTube channel. I've always believed in this philosophy that if I can never put a smile on someone's face who loves, say, Disney, for example, my purpose was never fulfilled. And ultimately in life, I've chosen this YouTube channel time and time again over anything else that I've come across in my lifetime and had to make dramatic choices about, because on this YouTube channel, I can actually tell you stories that relate to Descendants and Zombies, which will separate it from every other YouTube creator out there on the internet. I've had a frog stuck in my throat all day. But that is the key thing about this YouTube channel. I always wanted to make milk come out of your nose. I always wanted to make you laugh. And I always wanted to inspire you to create your own YouTube channel. I first fell in love with the Descendants franchise back in 2015. Before that, I was a big Hannah Montana fan. And I think that's what really introduced me to the Disney Channel revolution, when you had shows like Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place at the heights of their popularity. And then Ruby Rose Turner comes along, Olivia Holt comes along, Dove Cameron comes along, and explodes in popularity with Liv and Maddie. And then people were emailing me about Liv and Maddie, saying I had to check it out. I took them up on the opportunity. I took your word for it, and I fell in love with franchises such as Liv and Maddie, Descendants and Zombies to follow. And that's why I say that if they're running out of supernatural creatures, supposedly, if we were to listen to the other critics on YouTube, why don't they just combine the two franchises and make a movie combining the worlds of Descendants and Zombies together and just call it something cool, like Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide, the movie? That would be really cool. I would also like to see what they did with One Direction and the Jonas Brothers years ago in the Disney Channel Revolution, and have Zombies Descendants Worlds Collide Tour DVD release, or streamed exclusively on Disney Plus. Stop laughing. Disney has never ever called me to be the voice of Disney. You guys just pretty much made me the voice of Descendants and Zombies. You made me the voice of Descendants and Zombies. So because you made me the voice of Descendants and Zombies, I guess I am the voice of Descendants and Zombies, Zombies. That would be really, really cool. I would love to be the opening monologue of the Descendants and Zombies World Tour, one of the movies, but I never had the opportunity. Maybe if you hit the subscribe button, we can make something happen. I'll get to meet Ruby Rose Turner. I've called her Rue for years. I'll get to meet Kylie Cantrell. I'll get to do one of those funky dance numbers like For Life is Sweeter When You Are. This is going to be my year. The Place to Be music video, which was incredible. I don't know why everybody just immediately jumped to criticism about that. Literally 3 hours after the video premiered on Vivo and YouTube, everybody said, "Oh my God, gotta make YouTube video." So everybody was jumping in front of their camera like this. Ugh. Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires music video, Place to Be. Music video sucked. And I was saying to myself, why? And I, took a long dramatic pause, said why a couple more times. And I jumped on here and I started saying nothing but good things about Zombies 4, Place to Be music video. Told the critics to go away, and got over 1,000 views on a video in less than an hour. And I have each and every one of you to thank for that, because I seemingly was the only one that said anything good about it. There are more good things said, inevitably, about Descendants than there ever was about the Zombies movie, because a lot of people believe that the Zombies franchise was pretty much just piggybacking off of Descendants, and it was a copycat. But I think that Zombies inspired the message of acceptance, while Descendants inspired the message of standing up for what you believe in, standing up to your bullies, becoming stronger people. Every franchise is separated by a different message, beautiful messages that they have to their core. The music from Descendants definitely was a lot better than the original Zombies, which is why I'm really excited to see this camp rock Hannah Montana vibe. Hannah Montana has never called me back on that date that I requested 20 years ago. I had the biggest crush on Hannah Montana years ago. I fell in love with Hannah Montana, and that's what really introduced me to the Disney Channel revolution. Then came High School Musical, Wizards of Waverly Place, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I think Cody did eventually get with London or something, or who did he go with? Not London, but Jesse on that show. So that was really cool. And I was just a huge fan of Hannah Montana. Never to get a call back on the date. Eventually moved on from her to Dove Cameron, and from Dove Cameron to Ruby Rose Turner, who I'm still crushing on. Cry myself to sleep every night because Ruby is out of Descendants. Where did you go, Rube? Orange is the new black is one way of looking at her, but I think she's a character that was definitely underappreciated because she was so bubbly, so full of life. Everybody loved her. I really am going to miss her. I don't know how you can do Descendants without Ruby Rose Turner. Same thing can be said about Meg Donnelly. How can you do Zombies without Meg Donnelly? Thankfully enough, she's not only sitting in the producer's chair, but she is also co-starring in this one along Milo Minnon. I have a lot of respect for these guys because they shot scenes for this one in the nighttime. They have a better chance of meeting Jason, obviously, than what I do, because they shoot them from about 7 p.m. till 5 a.m. in the morning. So I think that there is a long way to go with these two franchises, both Descendants and Zombies, because of the fan support. It is just absolutely amazing. The strongest, most supportive, most loyal fans in the entire world. I say this because I have seen it, I have witnessed it with my own eyes, all the way back to when Dove Cameron was the character Mal on that series, and she blew it up. Sophia Carson did it in her own right with Evie, having no backstory whatsoever, and told her own unique story with such a passion for the original queen, the evil queen from Snow White. I'm really upset that the Disney's live-action Tangled is now put on hold because of the flop in the box office by Snow White. I was probably the only guy on YouTube that had anything good to say about Snow White. I don't know why, but everybody just immediately resorted to calling it a flop in the box office, and it had like a rating of, I think, 0.8 on Rotten Tomatoes, which wasn't really good. Kind of really sucked because, of course, copyright infringement. Character named Jonathan, just as it was at Hotel Transylvania years ago. I swear to God, the character Jonathan in Hotel Transylvania was a rip-off of me, because I loved to sing karaoke for years. Me and my buddies would always get together with a smoke machine in the shed, and we would shoot karaoke videos, and he always was just this really enthusiastic kind of guy, really brought me down. Way to bring us all down. I think DreamWorks produced Hotel Transylvania, did they not? And then Jonathan, of course, copywritten in Snow White. Yeah. This is why I've always been saying that companies like Disney and Warner Brothers and Nickelodeon have shafted me for years. I always wanted to be that guy on the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards that will get slimed indefinitely, run away from a couple of bombs, probably trip up in his own shoelaces, fall off the stage, ambulance called, woo, woo! And then when I wake up after receiving extensive surgery and immediate attention, I would say that I get slimed. No, sir, we rushed you off stage before it ever happened. Oh, I gotta go back. Yeah, cool stuff. But yeah, this new cast that they're introducing the Zombies for, Dawn of the Vampires, is to secure the future of zombies. So for these other idiots on YouTube that are saying that it's over, they're running as supernatural creatures for zombies, it's not really the case, because this new cast, of course, is to secure the future of the Zombies franchise, so that if Meg Donnelly and Milo Minnon choose to opt out, which obviously they will eventually because they're getting really old. Meg's like, what, 26? Milo's got to be like 35. But I really appreciate that the new cast members are between the ages of 14 to 18, and they're having nothing but good things said about them. Here's the thing. You guys deserve great reviews when it comes to Descendants and Zombies. And I always wanted to pride myself on giving you just that. I wanted to pride myself on giving you great reviews on what you love and what you appreciate. And I think I do that. I think I accomplished my goal. I said it every night on YouTube. I sit behind this podcast microphone during these beautiful sunsets. Don't see any vampires or Walking Dead yet. Any of you ever watched the entire Walking Dead series? Like, I mean, binged it? I don't know if any streaming services carry it, but any of you ever watched that and there's like, oh, you know, I think it was on TV for like 10 years. I could never understand the whole concept of your brains kind of thing. But everybody thought that show was so stupid. There was one point in time when I actually binged like the first 5 seasons of it, and I thought I was going to die. Literally. But, yeah, I'm really excited to see where Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires will go from here. We'll see a lot of, and vampires going, suck your blood, and all kinds of stuff. So, I know there are a lot of people out there that are really upset over the fact that these characters don't have fangs. We can't scare everybody to death. Take it from a guy who was the first person to kill a vampire in over 100 years. Oh boy, do I ever miss Buffy. You know, on that series, before they would shoot an episode of it, they would run over the leather jackets of characters like Spike just to make the character look vintage. And that just goes to show how advanced technology is now. You can make a character look vintage with just a snap of your fingers and a fake magic lamp. Yeah, that's how they used to do it. To make characters look older than what they actually were, because vampires are ageless, they would run over the leather jackets with a truck. Come to think of it, I have a leather jacket somewhere in my closet. I should actually attempt to run it over with a truck. Can't find it now. But, after the show, before dark, I will run it over with the truck and see what happens. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I love having you here. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do it. Big shout out to Meg Donnelly, though, for raising awareness for panic attacks and anxiety. I love it dearly because it takes a lot of courage for her to do that, especially with her mom's battle with cancer, her own battles with anxiety and depression, and her fear of death. It's called necrophobia, for those of you who are unfamiliar with that, and it's a fear of dead things and death itself. The thing about death is that I struggle with this fear for my entire life, and I still have a scattered attack of it, not as many as I used to have when I was a teenager, but what causes that is that it's inevitable. And the sooner and the quicker that you appreciate the fact that it's inevitable and you can't escape it no matter what you do, and you realize, you wake up one day and you say, hey, one day I'm going to die. Once that enters your brain, it gets you past that. But in all seriousness, though, it is really, really tragic when you see somebody suffering from that, because they don't know how to handle it. It's inevitable. It's going to get you anyway. So I went through my entire high school experience, my entire childhood, being afraid of it, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do, because without understanding that, it's really hard to put into words, honestly. So how are you guys spending Friday the 13th? What are your superstitions? You know, I've walked under ladders. I've had black cats cross my path in the woods, which is really easy to get lost in. You don't really know how easy it is to get lost in the woods berry picking until you take your eyes off what you're doing. I've been lost in the woods many times berry picking. Consequently enough, I was able to find my way out of it. You know, I always wanted to be walking through the woods one night, and if not stumble across a zombie horde, it would be to meet Dracula. He's one guy that I've always wanted to get his autograph of. And you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, what is it with you and getting the autographs of supernatural creatures that were written over in history over like 100 times? I don't know. I just want to do it. I don't know where I put my autograph book. You know, I once had Hannah Montana impersonator. My autograph book is amazing. Hannah Montana impersonator, Ashley Tisdale impersonator, Cookie Monster impersonator. I never actually did meet the actual Cookie Monster. You gotta give me a break, cut me a slack. Yeah, but Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires should have a good rating on Rotten Tomatoes. There's no reason why. I have a lot of respect for them shooting it in Toronto and in New Zealand, switching up the locations. I'm really looking forward to seeing where we go from here with this one. Thankfully enough, it is almost sunset on Friday the 13th, and I have yet to have anything bad happen to me. Hopefully you are staying safe wherever you are tonight. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you found it funny. I hope you found it entertaining. I have a quick interview to show you featuring Meg Donnelly and her insight on Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, which she had a hand in producing, sitting in the producer's chair for this one. Congratulations, Meg. We love you to death. It's amazing how Meg only has a million followers, correct me if I'm wrong, on Facebook. She should have more than that. Definitely deserves a lot more credit than what she gets. I still live in fear that Ruby Rose Turner is going to date Justin Bieber, and Justin's going to realize she doesn't have a TV, take her to Best Buy and buy one. So hopefully if Ruby sees this video, stumbles across it on YouTube, the YouTube platform with 2.49 billion users, if only all of you would subscribe to this YouTube channel. If Ruby sees this video, hey Rube, I need you to come live with me to hook up game chairs and bake pies, because those pies look absolutely ravishing in Descendants. So what do you say we watch this video together? Don't forget to hit my subscribe button, ring my bell to stay up to date with notifications. I would really appreciate and love you for it. Let's watch this video together.
We just filmed the 4th movie in New Zealand, which is crazy.
What the heck?
I know, it's so random.
Wait, okay, what was the first few?
All 3 of them were in Toronto, which I love. I love Toronto.
Not New Zealand.
And then the 4th one, they were like, hey, how about New Zealand? I was like, sign me up. So, yeah. And it was really cool. Being in New Zealand, I can't recommend New Zealand enough to anybody. It's just like the most magical place.
What is your schedule like? Did you have some days off to go cave? I know there's caves, diving,
yes.
in the ocean, right?
Yeah, I feel like we saw so much, and the locals were so nice. They had so many suggestions on where to go. So we saw like everything looks like a postcard. It looks like a painting. It's just like, it's ridiculous. So it was so much fun being there. And there's all these like new kids in the cast, so the movie's kind of like the older kids passing a torch to the new ones, and I'm sure there will be more movies to come with the new cast, so I'm so excited for them. So it was just like a different change of like kind of looking out for the kids, and I feel like our job was more to like look out for them more so than anything else. So it was really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That you're working with like babies that
Yes.
when you started off.
No,
Yeah.
like I was like crying almost every day, just like watching them be so excited, and because it just reminded me of when I was like their age, and because they're all like 14 to 16, so they were like babies.
And the industry was a lot different when you started than now.
Yeah, with social media, man, it's like watching them navigate. They make TikToks literally every 2 seconds, and I'm like, bless. I wish I could. I'm trying to. I'm trying.
I need a nap. I need a nap.
I
I'm not
know.
gonna edit right now.
They're doing it all the time.
Oh wow, Meg Donnelly is incredibly beautiful, is she not? I always thought that Meg Donnelly was one of those stars that was really underappreciated for her value in entertainment, and I just want to say this. There was a point in time when Meg Donnelly was really putting herself down on her TikTok videos. She'd get on there dancing, and she'd talk about, updates and stuff, and then there was a point in time I saw a video where she was really putting herself down. I think there's no need of that. When she is so talented, she's so gifted, and she's so there for the ones who have always loved her and supported her. So I just want to put it out there that her brighter days are ahead for her, and millions of people who have yet to follow her on Facebook, X, TikTok will do so. I only wish I had half, even a quarter, of those fans that are following Meg Donnelly. Again, Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires will premiere on Disney Channel on July 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, the global premiere will happen on Disney Plus for everybody to check out in Hong Kong, Brazil, under the sea. Great stuff. I always was a huge fan of supernatural creatures, but one thing I want you to run away with on this YouTube channel is that never believe what other critics on YouTube want you to hear, because they're filling their YouTube channel up with bots to get you to hit the subscribe button and push their content further up into the algorithm, which I have not done. I'm too busy hunting vampires in the nighttime when I jump off this podcast from my window, buying garlic at the grocery store, buying PS5 games at EB Games, which recently just went from GameStop back to EB Games, which was really cool. That's how I live. Thank you guys. So you don't know how dangerous it is living just out the road from both a chemical plant and a soda plantation, which literally are simultaneously side by side. One of these days when I'm out walking or driving, I'll take a picture of it for you guys and throw it up on this YouTube channel. If, and only if, you hit the subscribe button. I had my frozen lemonade already taken in this morning when I went to the local coffee shop, and not so screwed up. Yeah, hopefully you love this video. Hopefully you think the YouTube channel is really cool, and you will go out of your way to hit that subscribe button. Until then, I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke. I will check in with you again really soon. So long for now.